the same time be better stewards of the environment.
You have questions, we have answers.
Listen carefully.
You can't really be against hydrofracking and say you're an environmentalist because immediately the default options are fuels that are much less clean.
For the next hour, Sean Wilson explores the energy industry with news and interviews from around the corner and around the globe.
Nuclear is one of the directions that we should innovate in.
The Exploring Energy Show begins now.
And a very, very good Tuesday morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Wilson here. It's the Exploring Energy Radio Show. Glad to have you part of that this morning or wherever you may be listening. We wish you well. Today, Elk City Meals on Wheels, located 1510 West 9th Street, and calling your order 225-5821. Regular meals, $8. Senior citizens meals, just $7. Everybody's welcome. Monday through Friday, 11 to 1. 11 to 1 on this 14th day of October. And today's door prize Tuesday, by the way. Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes and gravy, Brussels sprouts roll, and blackberry cobbler. That's what's on the menu today. Again, one of their fundraising sources. So go by there and help them out. Help yourself out with some great food. Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes and gravy, Brussels sprouts roll, blackberry cobbler, and it's door prize Tuesday at Elk City Meals on Wheels. The Carnegie Caravan still bringing books right to you right here in Elk City. Delivered to you by the Friends of the Library. If you're having trouble reading regular print, call them and ask them about their free program that can help. You call them at 225-0136, 225-0136. It's Friends of the Carnegie Library and the Carnegie Caravan. The Melanie Rhodes Co-Ed Softball Benefit Tournament is this weekend. Got to have 3 girls per minimum on your team. It's going to be October 18th and 19th this weekend at Elk City Co-Ed Fields, at Burson Fields. Winning team receives entry fee back, only 2 home runs per game. Home run bans for a $10 bill. Max in the home run derby for $20. Winner receives half the pot. Text Melissa Adams if you'd like to be a part of it. Proceeds go directly to Melanie Rhodes. Text Melissa Adams, 580-210-8317. 580-210-8317. If you'd like to play in this benefit benefit softball tournament, have some underhanded fun this weekend. Help out Melanie Rhodes. Here's that phone number again, 580-210-8317. I'll have the president of the Consumers Energy Alliance, David Holt, in the next segment. Looking forward to our visit with him, as always. This guy is very, very knowledgeable about what's going on energy-wise across the United States of America. Here we go. Here's some crude oil prices to start the day. West Texas Intermediate down $1.38 to $58.11 a barrel. It's a November contract there. Brent crude oil, the ICE Futures Exchange, down $1.40. December contract out of London trading at $61.92 a barrel. Tocom crude oil in Japan is the lone green. It's up 200 yen per kiloliter in October contract. New York Mercantile Exchange natural gas is down 8 cents, trading at $3.04 per million BTU. All the refined products also down. RBOB gasoline down $2.26 to $182.18. Heating oil down $4.76 to $220.21, and gas oil down $16.25, trading at $643.50 per metric ton. So again, that is what's going on with the refined products. Again, the big news, Trump gets the hostages released, gets the peace deal, peace through strength. I love it. I hope they continue to abide by it. That's my hope and prayer. Well, these data centers. We're talking a lot about them. We're talking about, the benefits. We're talking about the, people that are against it. Up there in Yukon, home of Garth Brooks. Those city leaders are dealing with residents' water concerns over proposed data center. Yukon city leaders were defending their business deal with a company that wants to locate a data center in the city, and at the same time attempting to assure residents over their concerns. After recently selling 184.5 acres of city land for $15.8 million to a renewable energy developer in Atlanta, Georgia, The city council was criticized by residents who expressed concerns about the impact the data center might have on city water supplies. You have our word. We're not going to put the city of Yukon in jeopardy of losing potable water, however you want to say it, or rates going up, declared city manager Jeff Deckard at a recent Yukon Chamber legislative breakfast, according to the Yukon Progress. Mayor Brian Fillmore had stated at a recent city council meeting the developer planned a $1 billion data center. Residents remained dissatisfied and expressed their doubts at the most recent council meeting. One woman, identified as Anita Montgomery, even distributed to council members copies of an OK Energy Today newsletter, which pointed to various data center issues around the nation. Most of those are about, the electricity consumption, what that's going to do to the grid in that area, what it's going to do to local consumers' electric bills. But the water issue, our most valuable natural resource, the water issue. I did a story earlier last week about the water consumption of some of these data centers. Now, they vary, but they're into the tens of millions of gallons of water. So it's not a little thing. Now, the way I understand it from the research that I've been doing is that they are doing a lot of this recycling the water, running it through, letting it cool down the data center computers, then rerunning the water back through. I understand that that's pretty good. But I understand that it's also a very expensive system. But the Yukon residents got a little bit of that NIMBY going on, like, hey, this is a great idea, but not in my backyard. Yikes. Well, here's where some of the Oklahoma rig numbers dropped. Even as Oklahoma recorded a loss of 3 oil and gas rigs over the past week, some of the state's plays still saw a gain in drilling activity based on the latest rig count from the Baker Hughes Company. Now, these are some of the numbers from the plays. The most active play, the Canna Woodford, recorded a gain of 1 to reach 20 rigs. Loss of 2 rigs was recorded in the Granite Wash. The play that also extends into the Texas Panhandle. Baker Hughes reported it had 13 rigs as of their last release list on Friday. A surprise addition of 2 rigs were recorded in the Ardmore Woodford, where the total reached 13. The Arkoma Woodford was unchanged with 1 reported rig. The Mississippian, which reaches from northern Oklahoma into southern Kansas, continued with no reported rig activity, according to Baker Hughes. Around the nation, the Permian Basin count fell by 1 to 250 rigs. And that play that extends from West Texas into the southeast New Mexico region. The Williston count grew by 1 to a total of 30 rigs. The Eagleford, also in Texas, total slipped 1 to 44. And the Haynesville count increased by 2 to 41 rigs. The Marcellus play remained at 23 rigs, and the Utica was unchanged at 14. The Barnett play of North Texas stayed at 1 drilling rig. So those are some of the plays that are going on right now. But Oklahoma still staying steady. We're not setting the world on fire, but it's a lot of this OPEC deal. I'm going to do a story here in a little bit after we visit with David Holt. He's good for one segment this morning. But I'm going to give you this 10th district energy activity continue to decline. Energy activity in Oklahoma and the other states that make up the 10th district of the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City showed a decline in the third quarter of the year. And based on a survey taken by the bank, it doesn't expect any changes in the next 6 months. The bank reported that firms reported that oil prices needed to be on an average of $63 per barrel for drilling to be profitable, $78 per barrel for a substantial increase in drilling to occur. However, the results of the survey were released before crude oil prices in the West Texas Intermediate fell to $58.90 a barrel on Friday. A little bit less than that today. Survey responders also said natural gas prices needed to be at $3.56 per million BTU for drilling to be profitable. and about $4.64 per million BTU for drilling to increase substantially. Prices on Friday closed at $3.01 per million BTU after falling 5% for the day. Revenues and profits fell to their lowest level in 2 years, according to the survey. The number of employees fell for the second consecutive quarter. Drilling activity also decreased from this time last year, with the year-over-year drilling continuing to slide downward. And it fell from previous year for the first time since first quarter of 2021, and more firms reported decreasing capital. So this out of the Kansas City Federal Reserve Bank report. Yeah, we're in a lull right now, but like I said, it's a price that has to be paid for the long-term gain. That's my personal opinion. I'm going to get somebody a whole lot smarter about it than me. In our next segment, I'll have David Holt with the Consumers Energy Alliance right after this.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
Can I ask you a basic, somewhat obvious question? Energy, agriculture, gas, oil, beef. Is it possible to talk about one without talking about the other?
Not standing over a gas-operated flat top, I suppose, next to a bunch of gas-operated fryers.
Gas, and more gas. I live in California.
Yeah.
Maybe you've read. Somebody somewhere has waged a war on gas stoves.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
Thoughts?
In a nutshell, I prefer to cook on gas stove.
There it is. It's official.
See their stories at oerb.com/micro.
Whether it's day or night, hot flashes due to menopause can be unpredictable. That's why there's Veoza, a prescription treatment proven to reduce the number and severity of hot flashes day and night that can start working in as early as 1 week. Based on clinical studies measuring efficacy at 4 and 12 weeks, individual results may vary. Talk to your healthcare provider about what this may mean for you. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms or hot flashes and night sweats due to menopause, Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to Veoza.com. That's VEOZAH.com. Paid for by Stellus Pharma.
Paul Jones Drug is Elk City's most experienced compounding pharmacy, meaning they can custom make your prescription medications to your doctor's specifications, safely and effectively providing you with exactly what you need. And for your convenience, Paul Jones Drug has a drive-through pickup window as well as curbside service for testing and vaccinations, and offers free local delivery. Just a couple reasons you should choose Paul Jones Drug, 809 North Main Street in Elk City.
I'm Rodney Skinner with Paul Jones Drug, and I promise we provide care you can trust.
So there's a company out there that has a certain color. All the farmers and stuff think their oil has to be used in those certain color of tractors, and it's just not true. So here at Camrock, we have the same specification oil as the other brand, where people think that they have to use that for a certain color on their tractors and stuff like that. But we have the same oil specifications as they do. Works just as well, does the same thing, lubes it just the same. Price comparison is it's not even a comparison. We have a better price than anybody around on that type of oil. I use it at our place. My son uses it for our colored tractors that we have, and a lot of other farmers use it too. It's the same oil. Specifications are the same. It's kind of a myth where they think that it's got to be that certain type of oil for that color of tractor. Camrock is the name of the company. It's 2111 South Main, Elk City, south of Fred's Steakhouse. We have a better price than anybody around on that type of oil.
We rent most everything, from backhoes to mowers to lifts and chainsaws. DJ's Rentals and Sales, 225-1400 on South Main in Elk City.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
Thanks for sticking around. This show brought to you in part by American Hose and Supply. What if before you needed them, you called American Hose and Supply? What if before your hoses failed, you had those replacements on hand, ready to put right back on? How much easier would that make you? Make it easier for you. Get back up and going. Downtime's money. American Hose and Supply inside the Camrock building, they understand it. They're there ready to help you whichever way. If you're proactive or you're reactive. American Hose and Supply. Call them at 303-1123, 303-1123. Go to those who know hose. And ASCO Equipment, they want to be a partner in your project. 27 locations throughout Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico. We got one right here, 513 West 20th Street in Elk City. The big stuff, the heavy equipment, tractors, backhoes, wheel loaders, cranes, dozers, excavators, forklifts, compactors, pavers, those kind of things. When you partner with ASCO, their equipment repair shop ensures quick and efficient heavy equipment repair and construction equipment maintenance. Additionally, their team of employees and fleet of field service trucks are ready to roll into your job site, assist you with construction equipment repairs 24/7. No matter what heavy machinery your job or project requires, they can provide equipment solutions. $21 million worth of equipment parts in stock. Equipment breaks down, folks. We know it. I mean, it's just part of it. These people understand it. They've got 200 factory-trained technicians, whether you bought it from them or you bought it from whoever, whatever brand it is, whoever you bought it from, whenever, they'll work on it. And they offer flexible rental equipment options with daily, weekly, monthly payments. They're even starting to do some lease with the option to buy opportunities. Call them at 323-3422 or online, ASCOEQ.com. And finally, Fred's Steakhouse. Next time David Holt comes to town, I'm going to take him. Feed him one of these $4.99 chicken fried steaks, served daily, hand-battered, country gravy, house-made mashed potatoes, fills the plate. Chicken's your choice. They got 7 kinds, maybe seafood. That's what you crave. They got plenty of that. Freshwater catfish. They got appetizers sure to please everyone. Cap off your dining experience with fresh in-house made desserts. They also have a full-service bar. Fred's Service Steakhouse can host your private event located at 2107 South Main Street in Elk City. Call them at 243-2100 or order online. Chow Now app open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Proud supporter of the Exploring Energy radio show. We'll get this guy on the horn. David Holt, good morning, David. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. You had me at chicken fried steak.
Of course I did. It's an eating meeting. That's how we work it.
That's right.
I know we got a lot to unpack here, David, president of the Consumers Energy Alliance. But, you know, David, we were talking before we went on the air about how many people the power industry may need. Almost 750,000 people by 2030. Talk about that if you would.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. We still have pretty significant workforce development issues, making sure that we're replacing folks that are retiring, but also the industry is really expanding. So, like you said, 750,000 workers by 2030, largely because of all the data centers, the expansion, the electricity that we're going to need to see all over the country. And, you know, with that becomes more natural gas turbines, more natural gas power plants, more natural gas infrastructure, pipelines, all the rest. You know, we've talked about this on the show a couple times. We're going to probably see a ramp up of nuclear energy in the next couple of years. Yep. So, you know, there's growth everywhere, and it's all about making sure that first and foremost, kids stay in STEM, stay in the sciences, you know, head toward that engineering degree, that they come out of that with really good opportunities. But there's also opportunities for the 2-year vocational training for an electrician, for a welder.
Right.
All those things are needed in the energy patch, and obviously we're going to need a lot of them by 2030.
The STEM jobs growing twice as fast as non-STEM. You know, science, technology, engineering, math is what the STEM stands for. That's big when you start thinking about, the overall employment rate, 5.3%. STEM projected to grow to 10.8%. So this is a wonderful opportunity for youngsters or even middle-aged people trying to do something different to make a difference.
There really is, and listen, they're high-paying jobs too. So
yeah.
They put you on a path. If you're coming out just with an electrician degree or a welding degree, you're looking at $120,000, $140,000 right out of school. Same with petroleum engineering, chemical engineering. Obviously, you're staying in school a little bit longer, but you're coming out and you're needed right away because, like you said, the growth in STEM-related jobs is significantly more than just other jobs throughout the economy. And I'll tell you, Sean, we started about 15 years ago or so a foundation that just looks at STEM education, called Consumer Energy Education Foundation, and it just looks at STEM education, how to excite kids, work with our partners in the energy sector about, showing kids what cool jobs there are available, and, keep them in the sciences, when they go to high school, and then get them launched on their future. And the foundation now can go into any school in the country and really showcase STEM jobs, show STEM experiments that kids can look, feel and touch and learn and play with.
Right.
And we're doing a big festival down in Houston this weekend called Energy Day, and we're expecting about 15,000 kids to show up to learn about STEM and learn about jobs. So great opportunity, and obviously, it's the opportunity for the future. You get to be a certain age, old guys like us, you start thinking about, who's going to take our job, and it's time for all of us to start thinking about, how we're replacing ourselves with people that are younger, better, smarter, faster, stronger.
There's a lot of companies in the oil and gas industry that are pushing that STEM, and in fact, they're even providing STEM materials to high schools and middle schools to get kids, like you said, hands-on, tangible, where they do experiments, they do projects, and it's something that's starting to catch on. But you're right. I mean, we're going to have to continue to push our younger people in this direction, just so they understand that, they get this big old business and public administration degree, and then they're sacking groceries at, the local United supermarket. They need to get into an area that is, that there's opportunity and there's placement. I mean, you got to figure these people are 100% placement, right?
Oh, yeah, you got to think that. Listen, the need's there, and the need's going up. We talk about that 750,000 jobs just in the next, 4+ years, and then to 2040, we're expecting a 40% increase in electricity demand in this country. So, it's not going away. These jobs are, like we said, high paying. They're plentiful. We need them, and it's really about, exciting young hearts and young minds where more kids are staying in the sciences at an early age. You look at all the studies around, and if kids start losing interest in science, in 7th or 8th grade, you don't get them back. So that's a really critical age to start, kind of getting kids real excited about it, understanding what sciences mean, getting them on a path where they get excited about it in high school and they stay in it when they go to college. And for the last several years, the United States has just not been putting out enough STEM educated kids. And so finding ways, like you said, to get into schools that all the companies now are starting to really do and look at, finding ways to excite these kids and keep them in the sciences by showing them how cool it is. I mean, I think that's part of it, Sean. This is a really fascinating industry, and there's so many fascinating things about it, and just finding ways to showcase how cool it is, all the opportunities, all the new advanced technology, innovation, things that are just really literally on the cutting edge. I think that's really a kind of a cool way, exciting way to keep these kids in STEM.
And you talked about technical schools, and that's really big too, because like you said, electricians, plumbers, I mean, these things take a lot of water. These data centers, I had no idea how much water is involved in those, in cooling those big data centers. But those kind of jobs right there too are very, very highly sought after, and they're also pretty good paying jobs too. And you can get them in 3 to 4 years without a lot of college debt.
Oh, heck yeah, and give you a little bit of flexibility too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off kind of jobs, but you're coming out. Most times it's a kind of a 2-year training program at a community college or a vocational training school in locations all over the country. There's a ton of them. Or you apprentice in with a union up in the Northeast Pennsylvania area if you're up in the Marcellus. So lots of great opportunities. And like you said, these jobs are coming out when you come out of your 2-year training, you are making money right out of the chute. So great opportunity.
We're visiting with David Holt, President of Consumers Energy Alliance. We're out of time, David. I know you've got another meeting, but tell people how they can be a part of the Consumers Energy Alliance and stay up to date with what's going on.
It's easy. ConsumerEnergyAlliance.org. Just jump on the website, follow us on our social media, or join me and you when we're going to get our chicken fried steak in a couple weeks.
You got it, buddy. Next time you're here, man, I promise you. David, have a blessed day.
Man, I'm ready. All right.
Have a blessed day. And again, thanks for carving out time to visit with us, man. You're one of our reoccurring guests, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate what it is you're doing for the energy industry through education and what you do for our show and our listeners.
Hey, look, man, I look forward to it. Look forward to it every month, and I'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Sounds like a winner. Thanks, David. Have a great day. You bet,
Thanks,
buddy.
Bye.
David Holt, President, Consumers Energy Alliance. We're at the bottom of the hour. We want to take a quick break, and we'll come back. We'll talk more about what's going on in the oil and gas industry, well, energy industry as a whole, and more right after this.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
You know why people like going out to eat? It's a little treat for them. They get to leave the house and go somewhere else and have somebody else cook the food and serve it to them and clean up afterward. All you got to do is pay and leave.
I know a lady that makes it at Janice's Cafe. We go out there and eat all the time. You know why? It's not at home, and it's better than what we cook. You know, one of my favorite things to eat at Janice's Cafe? The catfish. It's good. It's got the crispy breading. Oh, it's like they made it with love, with a little bit more love on top of it.
Bacon cheeseburger.
Best bacon cheeseburger in the business. Name another one.
Mushroom and Swiss.
Best mushroom burger there is ever. Janice's Cafe can make all those burgers for. Of course, they got burgers. Got the best burgers you can have.
Do you think more people drink sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Well, you know what I am.
Half and half.
Half sweet, half unsweet. Janice is located on the south side of Elk City, where you go into the movie theater, right there next to Arby's. You'll be able to find it because there's a big old sign up there that says Janice's Cafe.
Hey folks, this is EJ Grediman with ASCO Equipment out of Elk City, Oklahoma. If you need rental equipment, I got your back. From excavators to wheel loaders, telehandlers, and forklifts, we rent the brands that you know and trust. With flexible terms, responsible service, and expert support, we're here to keep your job on track. Need equipment? We're on it here at ASCO Equipment. Visit ASCOEQ.com or stop by our Elk City branch, 513 West 20th here in Elk City, Oklahoma, or you can just give me a call, 580-243-9233. Appreciate it, folks, and y'all have a blessed day.
Craving a real steak? Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City is firing up flavor 7 days a week. The grill is always hot, and the steaks are always fresh. From juicy char-grilled ribeyes, fillets, and sirloins, to chicken fried steak, hearty burgers, seafood, and chicken, there's something for everyone. Don't forget the appetizers, salads, and desserts to top it off. Bring your appetite. We'll handle the rest. Dine in or order online now on the DoorDash app. It's more than just a steakhouse. It's Fred's.
So if your farmer need a hose built, you can come in. We'll build it. Oilfield customer and need us to come out and see you, we'll come out and see you and take an order or pick up a hose, build it, bring it back to you. Solves that problem. I'm Brock Kalk, and my company is American Hose and Supply. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings, oilfield or agriculture. You needed a hose like yesterday. We will stop what we're doing, and if we got to go to our Oklahoma City shop and get it, we'll do that. And I've done that for a lot of my customers. The business I've done with the oilfield, they got to see your face. Whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever the customer prefers, that's what we're going to do. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings. In the oilfield, sometimes you get a call for a crazy, hey, can you get this? And you go find it for them. American Hose and Supply. Come by and see us at 2111 South Main, Elk City, Oklahoma, in the Camrock Building next to Fred's.
Or call 303-1123.
Solves that problem.
You get a cup of coffee, you walk up to the cashier to pay, and there it is, a world of possibilities right there at your fingertips. The Penny News, our free gift to you.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
David Allen Guest, Certified Mineral Manager, one of our great supporting sponsors. If you need help managing your minerals royalties, get that time back and get the most out of your royalties, this is your guy. He's been doing it for himself and others nearly 40 years now. It's Always changing, complicated. He can help you navigate through every aspect of it. Plus, David's truly a man of integrity, a guy you'll be glad you're doing business with. He'll get you the most out of your royalties. He's an investment, not an expense. And plus, you get that time back. And if you find yourself in a situation to sell, David's a buyer of royalties from states, probates, trusts, and bankruptcies. You really need somebody you can trust in that. You don't want to get taken advantage of. David Allen Guest, certified mineral manager. Call him today, 405-341-8698. 405-341-8698. David Allen Guest, or look him up on the intraweb. After a busy spring and summer, you're ready to put that old equipment and that tractor up. Well, before you do it, do the maintenance. A little preventative maintenance. So it'll work like you need it next spring. Get everything you need for tractor maintenance, motor maintenance, anything with an engine at Camrock Supply. Next to Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City. Online, camrocksupply.com, camrocksupply.com. 3 local guys with local ties just doing business with their community. And sustaining Oklahoma's energy resources, part of the OERB, Oklahoma Energy Resources Board. You know, they're the one responsible for all the Mike Rowe commercials. You know, that guy, he's America's greatest storyteller. He's telling the story about oil and gas and the industry, what it does, what it means. Well, the SOAR continues to, get people educated. Like this SPCC training coming up October 23rd. It's a Zoom meeting at 11 a.m. Managing spills, staying compliant with regulations, oil spill prevention, control, and countermeasures. That's SPCC plan. If you'd like to learn about that or just get yourself updated with what's new in that business, doing it on a Zoom meeting, 11 a.m. October 23rd. Get yourself registered before close the business on the 22nd at www.soer.oerb.com. That's SOER, SOER.oerb.com. Sustaining Oklahoma's energy resources. Okay, so I guess H&P, they're in this big fight with about equipment seized by Venezuela. So U.S. Court of Appeals ruled in support of Tulsa-based Helmrich and Payne in a fight dating back 15 years when Venezuela seized at gunpoint control of 11 of the company's oil drilling rigs in the South American country. The Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia upheld a district court's rejection of the claims of Petróleos de Venezuela S.A., which the court determined to be a subsidiary of Venezuela itself. The seizure of the 11 oil rigs stemmed from a dispute over late payments, by the PDVSA, Petróleos de Venezuela, which is a Venezuelan energy company wholly owned by the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. For decades, Helmrich provided services to the PDVSA. Helmrich Venezuela owned various properties in Venezuela, including large rigs suitable for drilling oil and gas wells there in the early 2000s. The relationship between H&P and Venezuela began defaulting on the contractual obligations to Helmrich and Payne Venezuela, racking up some $90 million in unpaid invoices for drilling services. In 2009, Helmrich announced that it would wind down its Venezuelan operations, and Helmrich Venezuela began to disassemble its rigs, cited the appeals court. At the time, Venezuela defended its actions, announcing the takeover of the rigs. Rafael Ramirez, the Venezuelan oil minister, said companies that refused to put the rigs into production were part of a plan to weaken Chavez's government. When the PDVSA seized or expropriated the Helmrich and Payne's assets at gunpoint, the Oklahoma Energy Company sued in the U.S. and invoked an expropriation exception to foreign sovereign immunity. What can this court in the United States do to Venezuela? I'm not sure, but I know that Venezuela is a country in turmoil, and so we'll wait and see what comes of this. But the U.S. courts were allowed to hear cases where the firms such as H&P claimed title or right to property based on foreign confiscation, such as occurrence that occurred in Venezuela, which violated international law. I don't know. I doubt we invade Venezuela to get these H&P rigs back. But H&P definitely did win a court case over this deal, so we'll wait and see what comes of that. So, thought that little tidbit of information. You know, this this terrible deal down in Tennessee where they had those that explosion that killed those people. Well, you know, Oklahoma has also had some of these, and you know they're not common, but they do happen. But this last week's explosion that apparently killed 18 workers who remain missing at this Tennessee munitions plant is a reminder of similar explosions that left high death tolls and energy sites around the nation. One tragic blast in Oklahoma killed more than the number in Tennessee. Now, down in Woodbine, Georgia, 1971, there was an explosion that killed 29 workers and injured more than 50. Workers mainly made trip flares to be sent for use in the Vietnam War. Trip flares employ wires that are strung across an area that, when tripped upon, send up a flare. A fire on the assembly line sparked ignition pellets, eventually exploding the building. Also, an explosion and fire at the Phillips 66 Company Houston Chemical Complex in 1989 killed 23 workers and injured more than 130 people in Pasadena, Texas. A sugar plant exploded in Port Wentworth, Georgia in 2008, killing 13 workers and injuring 40. Imperial Sugar, the owner of the plant, was issued a fine of $8.7 million by OSHA after it was found that the safety hazards were ignored for years. The fire, which burned for a week, started after sugar dust sparked and then ignited. 5 workers were killed during a cleaning procedure at a Clean Energy, that's KLEEN, energy power plant in Middleton, Connecticut. In 2010, workers were using pressurized natural gas to clean pipes when the gas ignited and exploded. A West fertilizer plant exploded in West Texas. Remember that one, 2013, killing 15 people, injuring more than 200, damaging 350 homes. A fire that investigators later said was intentional caused ammonium nitrate to explode. Several emergency responders were among the dead. And it was not an energy site explosion, but one of the deadliest such blasts in Oklahoma. Happened on June 25th, 1985, at the Airlex fireworks plant in the northeast town of Hallett, killing 21 and injuring 5 others. Those 5 workers were the only survivors of the blast, and the explosion leveled most of the plant, leaving only a few parts of the factory standing. Fred Rutger, an Oklahoma State fire marshal at the time, concluded the initial explosion might have happened where a pickup truck was parked. The initial blast happened to have been in a smaller building near where the burned-out shell of the truck was found here in Oklahoma. Those 2 workers were unloading ingredients when it occurred, but they died in the blast. The ingredients were a container of highly explosive flash powder. It was a mixture of potassium chloride and powdered aluminum that was being illegally transported in a metal container in the truck. Investigators believe that the metal-on-metal friction of the container and the pickup trucks touched off the initial explosion. But you've got to pray for all those people down in Tennessee. They still haven't found those people. And a lot of times with explosions, it's there's not a whole lot left, and that's the sad part of it. Now, I do know that the FBI and a lot of strategic DNA officials were there trying to figure out and sort through that mess, but it's something that happens, and you've got to just really be cognizant of that. So it's but this munitions plant down there, one of the last remaining of its kind in the United States. Tough deal. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, I'll have my lovely assistant, TJ. She's going to have the weather forecast, energy stock prices, and more. Tuesday edition mop-up segment of the Exploring Energy Radio Show continues right after this.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
In the land of Ford, October is really Trucktober, a time to challenge ourselves and help truck buyers. The stock is in, and our place is covered with over 100 pickup trucks. We even had to ship some over to Truck Island. They're all waiting for loving families to give them a good home. To meet the challenge of selling 100 trucks by the end of October, we're going to take big trades and make big deals. The Trucktober Challenge is on at Barbara Dyson Ford in Elk City, online at barbadysonford.net. Truck lovers, come and get them.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-885-3100. 800-885-3100. 800-885-3100.
Brian Bacca is an investment advisor representative of and advisory services offered through Royal Fund Management, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
And I do a lot of financial education. There's a lot of people come and sit down with me just to get information, and I want to try to help anybody that wants help. If they want to help themselves, then I'm here for them. But I've had people that are so far upside down in debt and really don't even have anything to do with financial planning. I talk to them about it and tell them these are the baby steps that we need to implement to try to help get you on the right track. But it's going to be a little painful, and it's going to take some discipline. It's going to take a while. And sometimes I never see those people again. So you don't tell them what they want to hear. They want you to wave a magic wand sometimes and fix their situation, but sometimes you can't help someone if they just don't want to be helped. Brian Bacca. Name of my company is Advanced Financial Strategies. I have built this company from scratch. I didn't buy this company from somebody else. I started one client at a time.
Give us a call at 323-6800. Look at our website, retirewithbacca.com. Begin investing and stick with it. That's how most successful people did it. You can do it too.
For over 100 years, Farm Credit of Oklahoma has proudly served our area's farmers and ranchers. So when it comes to ag lending, don't fret it. Call Farm Credit. You'll never regret it.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
And thanks for sticking around. DCP Services, the diversified oil field company offering the right services with the right people on the job. They got roustabouts. They've got lease operators. They've got a wireline division with both braided and slick line options, and their DCP Pump Repair Shop in Cordell, rebuilding those pumps to like new. All right, that's DCP Services. You can find them right on the Book of Faces. You can call Jeff Davis at 580-660-0501, 660-0501. And if you're wondering about their supply stores and Mr. Butch Black, well, DCP sold their supply store division to One Source, Terry Morse. And so they're still pushing out pipe, valves, and fittings. They've also got some new services that they're providing, but that's what's going on in case you were wondering. So you can find out more about DCP Service by calling Jeff Davis, 580-660-0501. And this hour's weather forecast brought to you as a service of Carter Electric, owned and operated by Kervin and Mary Orgain, located at 217 West 12th Street right here in Elk City. They're an authorized Generac generator dealer, which means they can come in and size it, sell it to you, sell you the correct one, install it correctly and professionally, and then come back and service it, keeping it up and going. And if you know that distinct smell when something electrical gets too hot and you smell that in a building, do not ignore it. Call Carter Electric. They have infrared scanners, a level 1 certified technician that can detect those hot spots before they short out and catch fire. Electrical fires, they happen, folks. Stay ahead of it. Commercial and residential uses can save thousands of dollars and save lives. Fully licensed and insured, Carter Electric. They have the equipment, personnel, and experience to handle any job, any electrical job, 24 hours a day. Call them at 225-2447, 225-2447. And here's TJ with this hour's weather forecast, the service of Carter Electric. What do you got, girl?
This morning we are mostly cloudy through mid-morning and then gradually clearing this afternoon with a high near 83, south wind 8 to 13 miles per hour. Tonight we are mostly clear with a low around 58, southeast wind around 8 miles per hour. Wednesday sunny with a high near 82, south wind 6 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday sunny with a high near 82, south wind 8 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 23. Friday sunny with a high near 82, Saturday sunny with a high near 80, Sunday sunny with a high near 77, and Monday sunny with a high near 84.
All right. So there's a little cooling trend. And it's starting to get cool at night, too.
It is.
Down into the 50s. That's a fat boy's weather for you right there.
I freeze.
Here's some energy news in my briefs. Scientists at Missouri S&T University are hoping to make a major breakthrough in a new study that will examine how a high enrichment level nuclear fuel performs in small, modular, and micro reactors, according to Interesting Engineering. The study will be undertaken in partnership with the Oak Ridge National Laboratory and the U.S. Department of Energy. Speaking of the Department of Energy, they have invested in the development of fusion energy. The Fusion Innovative Research Engine Collaboratives will receive $128 million of the $134 million earmarked for two programs working to advance the sector, Inside Climate News reported. Canary Media reported EV Reality broke ground on a large-scale truck charging hub in San Bernardino, California, after securing $75 million in funding from private equity investor NGP. The project is an effort to support the expansion of its commercial fleet charging infrastructure. With an estimated completion date of early 2026, the charging hub will feature 76 DC fast charging ports, including megawatt charging stalls, all located in a central area near Interstate 10 and Interstate 215. So if you're in San Bernardino, you're driving an EV, stop by and get yourself charged up. The Trump administration withdraws $6.7 million grant from the Brandon administrations to support a Solar Plus battery storage project in Indianapolis International Airport. Xcel Energy plans to build 200 megawatts of battery storage at strategic locations across Minnesota, such as commercial and industrial sites. And a wave of local opposition to an $8 billion data center planned in eastern Wisconsin may come too late to stop that project. Alliant Energy explores alternative eastern Iowa sites for building a very large natural gas plant. And the Hopi tribe in Arizona is forced to significantly downsize a plan to install rooftop solar and batteries at about 600 homes after the Trump administration rescinds $25 million in federal funds. Here's some from around the world. Ukraine's foreign minister accused Russia on Sunday of deliberately severing the external power line to the Russian-held Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station in order to link the plant to Moscow's power grid. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha said Moscow was attempting to test a reconnection to Russia's grid. And the U.S. has been helping Ukraine mount long-range strikes on Russian energy facilities for months in a joint effort to weaken the economy and force President Vladimir Putin to the negotiation table. The Financial Times reported on Sunday U.S. intelligence has helped Kyiv strike important Russian energy assets, including oil refineries, far beyond the front line, the newspaper said, citing unnamed Ukrainian U.S. officials familiar with that campaign. And power was restored to over 800,000 residents in Kyiv on Saturday, a day after Russia launched major attacks on the Ukrainian power grid, caused blackouts across much of the country. European leaders agreed to proceed toward using hundreds of billions of frozen Russian assets to support Ukrainians' war effort. And South Africa has approved its largest wind farm yet, a project designed to power the next wave of clean energy and support the country's growing hydrogen industry, according to Fuel Cells Works. The Carissa Wind Energy Facility, planned near Beaufort West in the Western Cape, will include 154 turbines and deliver up to 1,000 megawatts of renewable power. Largest wind farm yet, 154 turbines. That would be like a baby wind farm here in the United States. Isn't that crazy? For the first time ever, cleaner renewable energy from wind and solar produced production exceeded the amount of electricity generated from burning coal in the first half of 2025 in Great Britain. This marked a pivotal milestone in the world's energy transition, according to The Guardian. That's energy news in my briefs. Okay, so yesterday you had some pretty good news in the oil and gas industry stock prices.
Yeah, not today.
Not today. Yeah,
Not
you
today.
couldn't go 2 days in a row.
Couldn't do it.
Okay. What you got over there, sis?
American Electric Power is up $1.53, trading at $118.33. Apache is down 35 cents, trading at $22.47. Baker Hughes is down 87 cents at $44.63. ConocoPhillips is down $1.08 at $87.69. Devon Energy is down 35 cents, trading at $32.86. EOG Resources is down $1.09 at $108.63. Expand Energy is down $3.58, trading at $99.10. General Electric is down $2.70, trading at $294.98. Halliburton is down 31 cents, trading at $22.19. Helmerich & Payne is down 26 cents at $22.57. Liberty Energy is down 25 cents at $12.05. Occidental Petroleum is down 71 cents at $41.71. OG&E Energy is up 48 cents, trading at $46.46. One Oak is down $1.04, trading at $68.55. Phillips 66 is down 42 cents, trading at $129.35. Sandridge Energy is down 15 cents at $11.69. Schlumberger is down 41 cents, trading at $31.91. And Williams Companies is down 35 cents at $62.33.
Golly, a lot of Debbie Downer. Wah, wah.
Just doing my job. Just doing my job.
It's cyclical, I promise you. Well, I said earlier in the show about OPEC Plus. Well, this story here out of Rig Zone, their spare capacity will be dwindling as it keeps bringing oil back into the market, even as total capacity for the group as a whole is growing. Okay, so the lack of the spare OPEC Plus capacity could lead to a price spike. That's what Ed Morris, senior advisor and commodity strategist at Hartree Partners and previously the global head of commodity research at Citigroup, told Rig Zone in an exclusive interview recently. Morris also highlighted a couple of issues with this spare capacity in the interview. One main issue is the definition, he said. Is it oil that can be brought to market in 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months? And is it production level that can be sustained for a while? And is that while 6 months, 12 months, or even longer? And then there's the issue of the domestic and international political risk to deliverable capacity, Morris continued. Morris went on to tell Rig Zone in the interview that some have spare OPEC Plus capacity that is fairly robust level. Hartree Partners strategist noted that from a definition of what can be brought to market in a 4 to 6 week period of time, his own judgment is that OPEC Plus capacity is about 2.75 million barrels per day. Given that could happen in Russia and Iran alone, that isn't a lot of oil to calm the market, Morris warned. So what does that mean for the oil market? Well, responding to this question, Morris told Rig Zone that oil market consequences depend on when a disruption to supply would take place. Current market is physically range-bound and weakening, with OPEC Plus producers exporting around 2 million barrels per day more than in the midsummer, given the tangible and actual increases in the group's production and the end-of-summer burn for power generation. It means backwardation, but time spreads are specifically weaker than what they were in June. That's more given actual seasonal demand post-summer and a significant level of refinery maintenance. Inventories are growing, he added. Nonetheless, a large supply disruption that results in a sustainable price spike and strengthening of the backwardation could bring some 2 million barrels per day back to market. And then there's the question of what next. The Hartree Partners strategist went on to state that there are strong indications of frustration in that country over taking what they are essentially voluntary actions to support prices, only to see some of OPEC Plus partners taking advantage of the free ride on the Saudi cuts. So he's saying that there is still a good chance that the market will stabilize, and that's optimist. If Brent were to raise to over $80, he said, and stay in that level for 2 months, there's a significant probability U.S. production could currently, be consensus likely to be flat. We'll certainly see a rise in the range of about 400 to 500,000 barrels per day. So he's saying that it's not dire. It's not dire. He said there's a lot of geopolitical pressures but they're still showing optimism. We know fossil fuels is going to be around for quite some time. Oh, very quickly, as I'm running out of time here, Elk City will host Douglas Thursday night. Kickoff at 7, pregame about 6:20. Also, the Elk-Cats will play Ulaga Talala at Ogenie Field Thursday at 2 p.m. You can hear that action on BigLTV.com. And Merritt travels to Hinton also Thursday night on Paragon TV, thanks to the Bank of Western Oklahoma. On behalf of my lovely assistant, TJ, I'm Sean Wilson. Thanks so much for listening. I promise we'll talk again. Have yourself a great day.
It's on. It's on! KECO, Elk City.
I'm CJ Papa. 20 living hostages enjoying their reunion with their families. But what about the loved ones of the 24 dead hostages whose bodies were not returned by Hamas? Rotem Cooper is the son of a